Y'all are reading that correctly. Y'all read the title. Y'all saw the thumbnail. The cookie virus is officially back. It's officially back, and I am so excited for this. Um, I don't know if I'm ever gonna continue writing my cringe retake. Or, what? No, continuation, fan-made continuation, considering it's actually getting continued now, so. um, yeah, that story will forever be archived, possibly. But this, I'm super excited for. I have waited for a long time to be able to see more stuff about the cookie virus, and I finally got my time. If y'all are questioning, yeah, what's the music in the background? That's one of my Incredibox mixes. It's the scariest one that I have. So I'm playing it in the back, considering this is a horror mod. It's a horror thing, so gotta have some spooky playing that isn't copyrighted. But this takes place after the previously written and drawn parts that was uploaded to Anxiety Monster's TikTok and Insta. Go check them out. They are amazing at what they do. Their art is great. Some of their things are pretty funny. But this is the summary. If you haven't seen the first part that I did, go watch it. I cried at lesbian ponies dying. Okay? Go watch it. Please. Go watch it. You get to hear this guy cry again. Yeah. Taking place after 28 pranks later, Rainbow Dash realizes her joke cookies infected the whole town, except this time, it's all too real. Journeying with Applejack, Rarity, the CMCs, and some other friends along the way, Rainbow must find a way to fix her mistake and save Ponykind. Ooh, I'm excited for this. There are 2 chapters out right now, Chapter 1, Part 12, and then the entirety of Chapter 2, which, how long is Chapter 2? Because Chapter 1 is 3,000. Okay, they're around the same amount. So it looks like we're going to be starting off Chapter 1, Part 12. I am super excited for this. If y'all are excited for this, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. They help me out a ton. And if y'all got any virus AUs of anything that y'all want me to react to or just look at, I will definitely 100% look at them, watch them, whatever y'all want. But I suppose we should start. This is going to be a lot of reading. If y'all don't want to watch, y'all want to just put me on in the background whilst I do all this, that's fine. But yeah, let's go ahead and... Disclaimer, imagery of body horror and blood. Ooh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Deep within the Everfree Forest, 4 little ponies trotted north. Sakura ventured ahead of Pinkie Pie and Rarity, a frail and sniffling Scootaloo draped over Rarity's back. Every pony worried about the health of their friend Applejack. They don't know. Oh no. The air was quiet until the distant sound of hooves quickly trotting towards them came from within the forest. Zagora was in front of everyone in an instant. Yak horn at the ready to scare off any infected. The trotting drew closer until a familiar blue coat and rainbow mane could be seen. She's here! Twilight is here! Run! I'm not going to do the voice that I did. I'm not. It's cringe. A Rainbow Dash hurtled towards the other ponies, yelling at them to flee, everyone quickly following her command. The group ran in fear for minutes before Sakura heaved out a demand to stop. I do not believe we are being chased. All ponies stopped to hear what Rainbow Dash faced. Every pony slowed to a trot and then a stop, heaving and panting, looking at Rainbow Dash for an explanation. Rainbow stared at the ponies blankly, thinking hard about what to tell them. She couldn't stop the lies from spilling out of her mouth. I was taking care of Applejack when you guys left, and Twilight suddenly attacked us. Every pony looked at her in shock. How did you get away? Where's Applejack? Rarity asked. Rainbow gulped. I tried to pull AJ on my back, but she refused. She, said that she would be too heavy for me to run, and that we would both get eaten. So she heroically stayed behind as a sacrifice for me to get away. She didn't want to slow us down due to her sickness. I tried to argue with her, but she threw herself at Twilight, and I ran before I could see her get devoured. Rainbow Dash. This is cool, bro. Sister? Sis. System. No, it's not good. You're cooked. You probably just got everybody cooked. Every pony stared at Rainbow in horror, then lowered their heads in grief. Every pony except Rarity, who approached Rainbow, raising an eyebrow. And you two had this long argument while Twilight was just standing there? Believe it or not, I ended up hitting the please speed. I need this. Believe it or not. Every pony looked up at Rainbow again. She sighed, tears welling up in her eyes. She's gone, Rarity. Rainbow's pain shook Rarity, making her feel guilty for her sudden interrogation. Rainbow began to sob as all the ponies surrounded her in a hug. Oh! Crap. I don't... Pinkie was the first to step away. Then we must venture further. With Twilight behind us, there's no time to waste. On to the next part. Hours were spent walking and silently grieving as the ponies slowly made their way to Canterlot. They walked for a full day without any attacks, which allowed them to see a gleam of hope for being able to make it to Canterlot. After another rough night around the campfire, the ponies were awoken by Zagora. If Twilight Sparkle is out there stalking, we must start the day by walking. Gather your things and begin your trot. It should only take one more night to get to Canterlot. I've seen one where she stopped rhyming. I don't know which one it is, though. I swear. You mean this whole mess is almost over? Rarity asked, but Zagora shook her head. We are almost at our destination, but that does not mean it will solve our situation. The princesses might not be able to cure the infected, but we can still ask for help as expected. About that. I'm pretty sure that Luna is infected, like I did in my version. Pretty sure she's infected. So even if we ask the princesses for help, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll know how to save every pony. Zagora nodded her head and they fell into a tense silence. Well, if all else fails, Pinkie starts, we can at least find the pony responsible for this. Rainbow, you said you ordered those cookies from Canterlot, so that means the culprit must be a baker from there. With the princess's help, I say that they should be executed for all the lives they took. Damn. Or better yet, whoever did this deserves to rot inside a stone prison with no windows or doors for the rest of their life. I want to see Discord's reaction. Like, Anxiety Monster's version of Discord's reaction to freaking Fluttershy being infected. Because if it's anything like what happened in the show, oh my god. This made Rainbow's stomach sink. The old Pinkie Pie would never have muttered anything as dark as that. She used to believe an enemy was just a friend you hadn't made yet. Although none of their past enemies ever did anything remotely close to this. Exactly. Night eventually draped over them again, and with every pony too exhausted to venture further, it was decided that they should get some rest. As the ponies were settling down and Zagora started a fire, Rainbow pulled out her journal. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight. Regret and grief were swimming through my head. Did I do the right thing? No, I didn't. That's why I'm lying about it to my friends. All I could do after my lies was cry for the loss of my best friend. And every pony else... Sorry, I just had a mini stroke. Every pony else. It's not everybody else, every pony. I gotta remember that. Had their fair share of tears today as well. I just hope that wherever Applejack is now, she's at peace and seeing her family again. Oh, she don't know. Oh, she don't know. Rainbow tucked her tattered journal under her wing after writing out her thoughts and laid her head down for sleep. Rarity awoke to the sound of sniffling. She lifted her head and cracked an eye open, adjusting to the darkness. Scootaloo? The Crusader had fallen asleep by Rudy's side. Who's Rudy? I can't read. Rarity sighed that night and was now crying in her sleep. It may have been Rarity's fuzzy eyes, the gleam of the dimming campfire, but Scootaloo's tears seemed to glisten rainbow. What? Is Scootaloo infected? Rarity was now awake and nudged Scootaloo. Darling, hey, wake up, it's okay. Scootaloo squirmed and groaned, cracking her eyes open. Princess Luna? We all saw that, right? Oh no. They're cooked. The gleam of rainbow in her eyes disappeared as she looked at Rarely. Rarely? Oh god, I'm really hoping Exciting Monsters are watching this. They're gonna hear the amount of times that I just mess up reading, because I can't read. Scootaloo's gaze widened and she screamed as she looked over the unicorn's shoulder. Rarity turned around and was met with a giant hunched figure of unrecognizable horrors. And then they drew it. Oh my god. Applejack is built like the Shaquille O'Neal of ponies. What the fuck? Bro. It's genuinely just Shaquille O'Neal to Kevin Hart. Like... The Rock to a toddler. Oh my god. Shotgun. Just shotguns. All of them. The two ponies screamed as the hunched infected lifted its front hooves to attack, quickly stopped by Rarity's magic force field. The screaming awoke the other ponies around the campfire. Pinky stood. What in Tartarus? That doesn't look like any of the other infected. The bulky monster slammed its hooves down on Rarity's force field. Rainbow's blood ran cold as she heard a distant laughter behind her. Deep within the darkness of the forest, a loud thudding of hooves accompanied by dead laughter was rapidly approaching them. Twilight. Let's go ahead and take this moment to pray to Celestia, as these ponies are cooked. Let's take a moment to pray. Let's take a moment to pray. I ain't religious, but let's pray. I ain't religious, but let's pray. Bro, Twilight, please. I know you're on some, but please. Don't give me any of what you got. Sensing Twilight, Rarity whipped her Drink water. Everybody, stay hydrated. Sensing Twilight, Rarity whipped her horn in a circle, expanding her small force field into a giant magic bubble around the ponies. Twilight ran into an attack, slamming her head into Rarity's magical barrier at full impact. Rarity screamed at the pain of her spell being challenged by two monsters. She'd never used magic this advanced before, and the ponies know they only had seconds before their protection was gone. The horn! Pinky exclaimed. Sakura, use your horn! Sakura quickly fished her yak horn from her saddlebag and blew it with the full of her chest to the monster's Twilight. The monster shrieked in pain, rearing its head back before slamming its horn against Rarity's force field. A bright white burst emitted from the creature's horn, electrifying Rarity's spell and into her horn. Rarity screamed in agony, tears streaming down her face. The unicorn looked at the monster challenging her spell. Her ears were filled with Twilight's dead laughter, as well as the screams from the second monster. The unknown shrieks rattled in Rarity's head until it clicked. Rarity screamed and forced the largest surge of magic she had ever used. A bright blue glow burst through her horn and out of the force field as it exploded. The monster shrieked in pain as he was suddenly engulfed in bright blue flames. What? The force field disappeared, as well as the infected, who ran off into the forest in the opposite direction, the light of the blue flames following them until they were gone. Every pony could finally catch a breath. They ran away, Pinky confirmed, making everyone feel a bit more at ease. Pinky turned to look at Rarity before she gasped. Rarity, your horn! What? Rarity stood stiff and heaving, her entire body shaking at what just happened, staring off into the distance of where the bulkier infected ran. Rarity's horn was shattered. Light blue sparks emanated from the cracks of her for a few seconds before dissipating. A long streak of blood trailing down the middle of her face and down her muzzle. Rarity did not know her horn was broken. She ignored the throbbing headache as she stared into the forest. Only one thought was plaguing her. That was Applejack. Oh my god. So you're telling me the only one in the entire group with magic can't use magic anymore? They turned her into that one character from the My Little Pony movie. You won't have anything. Crikey. I'm not logged in, but this first chapter was insane. I'm ready for this next one. See the end of the chapter for notes. This is chapter 2. It says major character death, so I'm afraid. Very afraid. Alright. You lied! Pinkie Pie shoved Rainbow. Rainbow fluttered her good wing as she fell backwards. The ponies had found themselves in quite a quarrel after the most recent attack. Rarity's shattered horn was being treated and inspected by Sakura as Scootaloo cried between the two. After saving the group's lives, Rarity explained that the gargled screams of the second infected sounded exactly like Applejack. Oh no. I didn't lie. Angie was bitten. You said she was eaten. Rainbow slowly backed away from Pinkie Pie. She kept angrily approaching her. Rainbow had never been so scared of her friend. Yeah, Pinkie Pie, when she's angry, turns into Pinkamena. We don't want Pinkamena, especially after, what, cupcakes? What's the difference? Rainbow felt a sharp slap onto the face as Pinkie vigorously whipped her tail against her cheek. I can't read. Against her cheek, causing her to stumble to the ground again. Enough, both of you. Jesus. Rarity suddenly shouted, a bandage now wrapped around her forehead. Applejack is dead and infected, that is for certain, so there is no need to bicker like fools. Rainbow, you did tell us that she was devoured by Twilight. Applejack was clearly not eaten, so you were obviously fibbing. What I don't understand is why. Rainbow rubbed her cheek with her good wing and shakily stood up. Rarity sighed. Applejack wants you to tell the truth. But she didn't, so why should I? Pinkie whipped back to face Rainbow, making the Pegasus flinch. What does that mean? Rainbow was backed into a corner. Despite her friend's accusation and pleas, she didn't want to tell the truth. She chose not to speak at all. Rainbow slumped to the dirt floor and started sobbing out sorries, and it's not my fault. Pinkie, filled with rage at Rainbow's deflective behavior, snorted loudly and stomped a hoof on the ground. She trotted in an angry circus for a little while, so as not to separate from the group. Oh, more art. After Rainbow stopped crying, she still refused to tell the story of Applejack's true demise, so the group gave up on interrogating her. After only 2 hours of walking, the ponies were out of the Everfree Forest. Distant thudding of large hooves could be heard far away from the group, but eventually stopping once they were out of the forest. The ponies told themselves it was simply forest ambiance to calm their nerves. Once out of the nerve-ending sea of trees... Never-ending sea of trees, it was a rush of relief to see the clear sky once more. The sun in the sky was a gleam of hope, and more importantly, the changing of days meant that Celestia and Luna were still available for help. I don't know about Luna. Camelot can now fully be seen, the overflowing river stream gleaming rainbow in the sunlight. It was now only a few hours of uphill climb to reach the city. Rainbow cursed her hurt wing for not being able to fly her up herself. But day by day it was feeling better, adding another spark of hope in her chest. The gates of Camelot crept closer to the ponies' view, filling their hearts with relief. Rainbow, as if seeing a white light at the end of the tunnel, started running towards the gates. The other exhausted ponies were heaving a bit of trouble. Heaving? Drink more water, everybody. Having a bit of trouble keeping up. Rainbow, slow down, Rarity shouted. Rainbow turned her head as she was running to look at Rarity. Come on, Slowpokes, we're practically there. When she turned forward, she stopped so quickly her knees buckled. Oh! I knew something was going on with... I knew something would be going on with Luna. I didn't guess this. What? This is low-key what happens when you look at the sun for too long. This bitch said, taste of the rainbow. I'm pretty sure you're Minty, aren't you? Isn't that your name? The one with the Colgate hair color? You're Minty. One of Twilight's old friends. Rainbow screams alerted the rest of her team to quickly follow her. Rainbow gnawed at the pony, gawked at the pony in front of her. The pony was very clearly Minuet, close enough. Or at least it used to be. Her eyes and mouth were wide open as rainbow liquid dripped from her sockets and jaw. Ponies all stood in silent fear at the sight, but it was clear Minuet wasn't moving. She was as still as a statue. Pinkie equipped her flashlight and attempted to shine it into the unicorn's eyes, but didn't see anything other than overflowing rainbow liquid. Rainbow took a few careful steps back. What happened to her? And where did she come from? I swear she wasn't here when I was running to the gate. Zgora hummed. The terrible virus must have somehow spread to Canterlot. We must make it to the princesses, so I suggest we begin to trot. Ponies kept their distance from Minuet and carefully walked around her. The roads of Canterlot were blotched with rainbow puddles. We must all carefully watch our step, unless we want to become the next infected. At Zgora's command, all the ponies watched their steps to avoid dipping their hooves in rainbow puddles. Sudden thudding of hooves echoed behind them, and the ponies quickly whipped their heads around. Rarity shrieked as Minuet was now inches from her muzzle. Weeping angels? I'm dead. I'm dead. You can't expect me. You gotta be kidding me. She moved. She's going to attack me. But why didn't... Weeping angels, Zgora spoke up. I had studied Dr. Who's adventure texts. He described a monster of a similar hex. How? He's dead. He's dead, though. And that happened after AJ got infected. And Dr. Hooves died before... Am I overthinking? Dr. Hooves died whilst investigating Fluttershy. Because Fluttershy ate him and was using his voice and ended up, cooking two of the CMCs. Anxiety monster. Is this an oversight? It might be. A creature is still as a statue when looked by the eyes. But once your gaze is away, you will surely die. He described a monster. Wait, how? I still don't understand. I might be dumb. Ponies all gulped in fear at what lies beyond the city gates. Pinkie looked up at the giant tower that was Canterlot Castle. Rarity, keep your eyes on Minuet. We all need to walk in a tight circle, flank to flank. Every pony having an eye in each direction. That includes you, Scoot. Pinkie nudged Scootaloo off her back where she had been resting. Scootaloo gulped in fear, legs quivering as soon as they touched the pavement. Let's go. On Pinkie's words, the ponies moved northeast towards the castle. The group crept very slowly, Rarity keeping her eyes on the weeping Minuet, doing her best to mimic her friends' hoof steps to step over the puddles. Once deeper into Canterlot, the aftermath of the virus was revealed. A sea of rainbow puddles bled through the streets. Skeletal remains of gutted and eaten ponies were strewn about. The worst of all were the infected. Weepers is what they're called. Okay. Had taken over Canterlot. Ponies with rainbow oge raining from their eyes and mouths stood frozen throughout the city. Dash's eyes darted between corpses, rainbow puddles, and the infected. Every eye movement could cause a weeper to move a point slightly in a direction. So, I thought of dreamers. Weepers also worked very well. Keep watching them, girls. Try not to blink, and blink fast if you have to, Pinkie ordered. Pinky told Sakura, being in the front of the pack, to lead them to the castle and away from the puddles. Scootaloo's breathing started to quicken before Dash let her wing droop next to her. Scootaloo taking hold of Rainbow's wing with her comfort. Oh no. It took hours to reach the castle, carefully stepping over puddles, barely blinking, keeping eyes on every weeper around them. It was a traumatizing experience. The group eventually reached the castle, only to find out that it had more infected ponies than any other spot in Canterlot. It appeared that they had attempted to storm the castle at some point, but something was keeping them out. The group made their way to the castle's entrance, only to find it was locked. Figures they'd want to lock up. Who knows if Celestia and Luna are even inside? It'd make sense for them to escape Canterlot themselves. What if it was all for nothing? Rarity began to spiral, blue sparks emitting from her broken horn. We will not know for sure until we find out what's behind the door, Sakura said. Pinkie Pie, you have experience moving rock. We both buck the door. Perhaps we can break the lock? She didn't rhyme in the first sentence. Unless sure and door. No. Okay. Pinkie nodded. Her and Sakura working in unison to buck the castle's doors while the other ponies kept their eyes on the infected. To what felt like dozens of failed attempts, they accepted that it wouldn't budge. Pinkie and Sakura slumped to the concrete in defeat, realizing they had to find another way to get in. Pinkie started looking around to see if there were any closed windows they could break, but until she saw a pair of bloodshot eyes staring at her from inside the castle. Bloodshot eyes? Oh, because they can't sleep or else they turn into the weepers. Hey, there's a royal guard inside. He looks uninfected. Rarity turned her head to look before realizing she was looking away from one of the weeping ponies in front of her. Moving her head back, she expected to be muzzle to muzzle with the monster, but none of the infected ponies moved even an inch. Rarity looked back at the window and realized there was a guard occupying every window in the castle. I think they're all staring at the infected so they don't get inside. If the guards don't want them inside the castle, that must mean they're protecting Celestia and Luna. No, Celestia is staring at Luna right now. Rainbow excitedly exclaimed at the realization. Rainbow turned to the guards at the window and started flailing their hooves. Hey, please let us in. We've come in peace. Clicking noises from behind the doors alerted the ponies before it opened just a crack. A white unicorn with glasses peeked out only a little. White unicorn with glasses. Don't know who that would be. Spirits of Harmony. Thanks, Celestia, you're here. The pony stopped for a moment, studying each of the characters in front of her. She crept back a little once she got a look at Pinkie's rainbow muzzle. You're sure you're all healthy and weren't followed? Oh, there's a picture. Rarity looked over her shoulder at the statues of infected. It's a little difficult not to be followed here, but none of us are infected. The pony was hesitant, but eventually let them all inside. They trotted through the empty castle as they followed the unicorn, one of the first non-infected ponies they had seen in a while. I'm sure you are all here after receiving the princess's letter, the letter Princess Celestia said sent you. Ponies puzzled silently when there was no answer. The unicorn looked back at them. The one she sent to Princess Twilight Sparkle. Pony's faces drooped. The unicorn slowed her trot. Oh, I see. There was barely any talking after that. As they moved further into the castle, they noticed that every window was occupied by a royal guard staring outside. Suppose the guards were ordered to watch the infected ponies outside? Rarity asked. The unicorn replied, yes. When the disease began to spread, it spread like wildfire. Those who were infected by dreams quickly attacked the ponies around them. We were quick to discover that looking at them keeps them still, though we still have yet to come up with a cure. Hold on, Rainbow Dash interrupted. Did you say infected through dreams? The ponies arrived at two large double doors that had led into another hallway, but this time it wasn't only occupied by guards. Oh my god! Oh my god! Celeste, look at Luna! Luna entered her emo phase. Oh my god. That's crazy. Okay, I'm back. Had to reset my mind a little. Yeah, this is still wonderful, guys. This is, like, wonderful. Slay, Luna. Slay. Oh, it's the end. I paused at the end. Thank you all so much for your patience and interest in this series. The series is clearly not over, so please be patient while I finish it up for you all. Special thanks to Comic Cascade, a feather... Not saying that, and the ponies on the fanfic Discord for reading and reviewing these chapters beforehand. And then there is a comment. What does the comment say? Yeah, I'm so happy this is back. No, oh boy, this was insane. I cannot wait for the next chapter. I'm going to read them in increments of 2. So when chapter 4 comes out, I'm going to read chapter 4. Chapter 3 and 4. But that'll be a while until now, probably. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Go support Anxiety Monster, please. They are amazing at what they do. If y'all enjoyed, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at @StopperRate and join the Discord. Link to which is in the description. I'm going to say this again. If you guys have any MLP infection AUs y'all want me to check out, or just infection AUs of anything else, or horror AUs, horror in general, horror games, just anything horror. I love horror. Please either send me the name and where it is in the description, or if you can join the Discord, send the link in the video recommendations tab of my Discord. But yeah, that's about it. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.